Hello, my dear friends. Here we are for another Bible study. How good it is to spend this time in God's presence. In today's Bible study, we will learn from King Hezekiah's mistake about the importance of guarding what is sacred. Sometimes pride leads us to expose blessings that should be protected. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell to join us every day. Let's dive into the study. 2 Kings, chapter 20, verse 15. And he said, "What have they seen in your house?" So Hezekiah answered, "They have seen all that is in my house. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not shown them." Hezekiah had just gone through one of the most memorable and profound moments of his journey. He faced a terminal illness that seemed to be his end. But in his distress, he cried out to the Creator, who not only healed him, but added 15 years to his existence. Imagine the mixture of relief, joy, and gratitude that overflowed in his heart after receiving such a miracle. However, this personal victory brought with it an unexpected visit from a very distant land. Babylon, which at the time was just taking its first steps toward becoming the great force it would eventually be, sent emissaries with gifts and letters under the pretext of congratulating him on his remarkable recovery. It was a gesture of diplomatic courtesy that concealed very deep political and strategic interests. Feeling flattered by the attention of a nation gaining relevance, the king allowed vanity to find a small crack in his thoughts. Instead of using that opportunity to glorify God for the healing and the prosperity of his people, he felt a human need to prove his own worth and the magnitude of his reign. He opened all the doors of his palace and the treasure houses, giving a detailed tour of every piece of gold, silver, rare spices, and even displaying his entire military arsenal and defenses. There was not a single corner of his house or his domain that he did not proudly exhibit to those strangers who, although they seemed like friends, were attentive observers. The prophet Isaiah, guided by sharp spiritual perception, questioned the king about who those men were and what they had seen in his privacy. Hezekiah's answer revealed a dangerous transparency, admitting that absolutely nothing had been hidden. The mistake here was not just a military strategic failure by showing the kingdom's weaknesses and riches to future adversaries, but a failure of internal posture where trust in divine security was replaced by the desire to be admired by men. Bringing this reflection to our current journey, we realize that we often act in a similar way to this king. When we receive a great blessing or achieve a long-awaited conquest, our first impulse is to show the world how successful and favored we are. We live in an era of constant exposure, where it seems that joy is only complete if it is seen, validated, and commented on by others through screens. However, we need to cultivate the wisdom to discern who should truly have access to the treasures of our lives, whether they are our material victories, our ongoing projects, or the precious intimacy of our family. True maturity lies in understanding that not everyone who smiles at us or brings us kind words is prepared to handle the greatness of what God is building in our story. There are times when silence and discretion are our greatest tools of protection. When we open the doors of our heart without criteria, we may attract looks that only seek an opportunity to point out flaws or covet what was planted with so much effort and prayer. Being prudent does not mean living in fear, but rather being a zealous steward of the graces we receive from above, understanding that what is sacred deserves to be preserved. The Lord desires for us to be light and to witness to his wonders, but he also invites us to the humility of knowing that our security does not come from the applause of others or the display of our achievements. The strength of our life resides in that serene peace we cultivate in secret with the Father. May we learn from Hezekiah to value what is essential, keeping our focus on the one who is the source of all good, without the constant need to prove anything to anyone. Cherish and protect what the Creator has placed in your hands, for what is kept with prayer and vigilance flourishes much more firmly and safely under divine care. Now, I would like to invite you to pause your activities, quiet your heart, and lift your thoughts. Let us bring our concerns, our victories, and our desire for wisdom before the throne of grace. It is the moment to ask for discernment in our daily decisions and protection for the blessings we have already received. Join your heart with mine now as we enter a special moment of prayer, seeking the necessary guidance to guard our hearts with all diligence, love, and trust in the purpose entrusted to us. Lord my God and beloved Father, in this moment of stillness and reflection, we lift our voices and thoughts to your throne of grace. We thank you immensely for every miracle performed in our lives, for the healings we have received, for the doors that have opened, and for the days that have been added to our journey. We recognize that everything we have and are comes from your immense goodness and mercy. However, Father, today we look within ourselves with sincerity and realize how easy it is to let our hearts be carried away by flattery and the desire to be recognized by others. We ask for your forgiveness for the times when, out of vanity or lack of vigilance, we opened the doors of our privacy and displayed the treasures you entrusted to us to people who should not have seen them. Give us, Lord, the discernment to understand that not every visit brings good intentions and that not every compliment is sincere. Teach us to keep in secret that which is sacred, to protect our dreams before they take shape, and to watch over the peace of our home with all dedication. May we learn that true security does not lie in the display of our victories, but in the shelter of your hands. Remove from us the need to prove our worth through material goods or external achievements. May our greatest wealth be your constant presence, and may our greatest trophy be obedience to your will. Father, we ask for your special protection over our family, our projects, and every promise you have planted in our spirit. May no look of envy or opposing plan be able to touch what the Lord has decided to prosper. Place a guard over our lips so that we know when to speak and, most importantly, when to remain silent. May our lives be a testimony of your glory, but may that testimony be given with humility and wisdom, never drawing the focus to ourselves, but always to you. We trust that by guarding our hearts with diligence, we will allow your grace to flow freely and safely in every area of our existence. Amen. We conclude this Bible study with this message of profound wisdom and careful stewardship over the treasures the Creator places in our hands. Look closely, my dear friend. The story of Hezekiah does not serve to make us fearful or turn us into closed and distrustful people, but to lift us to a new level of spiritual maturity. Being a mentor of your own life means understanding that your value does not depend on the approval of those who come from the outside just to observe. Often, in the excitement of a victory, we feel an almost urgent need to prove to the world that we have won, that we have prospered, or that we have been healed. However, true victory shines brightest when it is cultivated in the silence of gratitude. In your daily practice, this means being more selective about whom you invite into the details of your soul. Your deepest dreams, your projects that are still on paper, and the harmony of your home are like the rare spices and gold of Hezekiah's palace. If you expose them prematurely or to the wrong people, you end up inviting influences that have no commitment to building up your story. Learn to celebrate your achievements first with God and with those who walked with you in the desert. The validation that truly matters has already been given by the one who knows you by name. When you choose discretion, you are not hiding your light. You are protecting the oil that keeps it burning. Move forward with your head held high, knowing that your security comes from that serene peace that the world can neither give nor take away. You are a steward of heavenly treasures, and every blessing in your life is a seed that needs protected soil to fully bloom. Be as wise as the serpent and as simple as the dove, filtering what leaves your mouth and what enters your eyes. By acting this way, you will see that your path becomes much lighter and your achievements will be preserved by a hand that never fails. Value your intimacy with the Father above any human applause, and you will discover an inner strength that is born precisely from what is kept with love and constant vigilance. It is an immense joy to have you with us until the very end of this video. If this study touched your heart, I invite you to strengthen our community. Leave an amen in the comments or suggest a verse you would like to see in our upcoming meetings. Your participation unites us and makes this channel a closer and more special place of prayer. Thank you so much for dedicating this precious time to the Lord with us. We look forward to seeing you in our next Bible study as we continue to grow in grace and wisdom. And remember, God is always with you.